service announcement. These videos have the full intentions to be used as conversational tools and purposes only. Anything that is expressed in these videos and videos before and after has the sole purpose of that reason. I know a lot of this stuff is repetitive. I hope that you can understand that. Again, these are for conversational purposes only. The comment box on these videos is for that purpose. Thanks for watching. Alright, now that the intro is out of the way, let's kick off this video. Last week, with the 2-hour premiere when they went to California, I made the statement that I thought that this season would be better than the past seasons or last season. And I have seen a bunch of comments saying, well, I don't know about that, we'll have to wait and see and all that, but it doesn't take much to be better. So I feel like the first list race of the season was one of the better episodes that I've seen in a while when it comes to Street Outlaws. And we will talk about a lot of things that happened, but before that I do want to mention a couple of things involving a few different things. And number one is the deal with Old Heavy getting wrecked again. And I don't know all the details. I've seen a few videos, but I haven't watched them. It happens every week. And if you made a video on every time that one of JJ's cars got wrecked, you would be uploading every day. So apparently Lee Roberts, the driver of Night Force, wrecked it at a track. Supposedly brought in too many kits and lost control, and it looked like it was after the finish line, but Old Heavy looked pretty trashed in the pictures that I've seen on Instagram, and there's memes popping up everywhere. If you don't follow Mike Murillo on Instagram, go follow him. Not only is he uploading some of these memes, but just some hilarious stuff in general. I've seen some of them. I've seen the truck after it was wrecked. But the truck's been rolled 10 times, the truck's been flipped, and it's still running. I don't know if he's got a barn full of them somewhere that he's just throwing bodies on. I don't know what the deal is, but got to give the man credit for trying to put his name and brand out there, but he's putting himself out there so much that he's going to be like a niche type thing or a fad that plays out quickly, and he will be gone before he ever gets very big. My opinion, mine only, it is what it is. And one more thing that I want to say before I talk about what happened this week on Street Outlaws is the previews for next week. And I want to talk about two things. Number one, and that is Boosted looks like he outruns Dominator next week. And in the preview, he is on small tires in the new car. We seen tonight that he had some problems on big tires. I don't know if he just doesn't get it figured out, but he knows small tires, so he puts them on there. I don't know. I do know in real life today he is still running small tires on the car more often than not. So Boosted is a small tire guy. He can make small tires work. He's great at doing so, and whatever it takes for him to stay relevant, so be it. And the second thing I'm going to talk about, it shows somebody running off of the side of the road, and I'm not going to say wreck, but, they wrecked without hitting something. And that is going to be Doc. If you slow it down, you can tell that it's Doc from the in-car cam, and you can also tell with the taillights. It does some trickery, and it shows Boosted and Dominator going down the road, and then it flips around to another clip, and you can tell that it is obviously Ryan and Doc. So it does look like that Doc outruns Ryan next week, but he also runs off the side of the road. So if he does tear his car up after he outruns him, I wonder if he'll do the right thing like Ryan did and let Ryan back around him to race up. We'll find out next week. But with that being said, let's talk about what happened this week. And like I said, one of the better race nights that we've had, the best list race that we've had in several seasons, in my opinion. Most of the time in previous seasons, the past 2 or 3 anyway, it's either been a blowout or a technicality why someone wins. It's never been very good races unless it was the top 1 and 2. And, out of the 7 or 8 races a night, one race is a good race. That's not what Street Outlaws is. Street Outlaws was, 10 or 12 of the baddest cars, constantly, putting their cars down through there. But their cars has evolved so far that they can't make full passes consecutively, night after night, like we was used to and had, become accustomed to. So that is a lot of why I think it had turned a lot of people off. But tonight, nearly every one of the races was, within a car, and that's racing. When you have to wait on the finish line, video right there where it shows who won, that is a good race. And there was several tonight. Like I said, one of the better race nights that we've had as long as I can remember. And I'll just start with the very first race, and that is the race with Jackie Knox and Boosted. Jackie Knox won, and he didn't win by much, but he did win, and we know how much faster most of the other cars are than Jackie Knox, so that shows what Boosted was actually doing on the street. Now, granted, he said he was having problems with his big tires on the street. He wasn't used to them, only had one pass, whatever. But Jackie outrun him pretty good. But when that thing blew up, I don't think I've ever seen a car or truck, whatever, blow up like that with that, amount of just craziness, smoke, just everything that went on. Whatever happened locked the truck up. If you slow it down and watch it, you can see the truck nosedive. Whatever happened so hard. But I know when that's pushing the truck back, there was oil all the way down the side of it, so it scattered and come completely apart. And the way it nosedived, I'm going to say that the whole drivetrain is trashed. I don't know what happened. Whatever happened was, catastrophic failure to say the least. And I know that he got the truck back going, but we also know it was for sale, so I don't know what happened. I think we might find out in a future episode. One more thing that I want to mention about race night that was just odd, and that was Ryan Martin winning there. That's the first time that I can think of that he has ever not had his car there on race night. When they was pulling the motor out of it and stuff in the shop, he said that the car had 300 or 400 passes on it, and the way he said it implied that that was like in the past year. So the car needed to be completely went over for him to be able to climb up the list. When your tenths and ounces matter, then that is a shitload of passes to put on a car without going through the whole car. And as much power and torque and all that stuff, I mean, this car making upwards to 5,000 horsepower and 300 or 400 passes on it, that is insane. But Ryan Martin is one that is always on top of his game. The car is broke or something happened a few times, but he has never not had it there at all. But like, I'm going to say a man, he did not hold anyone up, did not try to pull any games and let them roll right on by him more than once. The next race I'm going to talk about is Doc. And Doc's coming off a loss from last week. He had that car rolling this week. Chuck rolled up there, and before the race he said, "There's nothing wrong with the car. I have the right tune up in it, and it is on 100%. Doc rolled out and smoked his ass. Doc was on a roll tonight, and I do think he had a #1 capable car. That is the first time in a while that I would say that, and I would have had to see what happened tonight to believe it. I don't know if just everything, all the stars aligned and the car was rolling or what, but it was working. The car was flying, and I would like to see Doc do more of that. I have said so many times that I didn't think that he would ever make it like that with being the only nitrous car, just because you can't run nitrous that hard every weekend and expect it to stay together. But tonight it was working. Proud for him, and I know that there's going to be a lot of comments about him throwing a bitch fit and hissy fit or whatever about Chief and Dave just racing all the time, and I agree with him. I do think he deserved that shot. For one, he did claw his way all the way from 9 up there to it, and if Chief and Dave hadn't already raced that night, then I would say no, but since Chief had already outrun Dave, then he deserved his shot. I fully agree with that, and that was a close race. That was about too hard to call, and I'll put a video on the screen right now of it, and I'll let you decide who you think really won that race. It depends on what angle you look at it. There's a line in the road, and if that's the finish line, it is within inches. Like they said, a headlight bezel was the difference in the wind, and that is what it was. Doc did guess on the light. I do agree with Dave with that, because he had 4 car lengths out of him on the hole. And even though Doc had to pedal it, Dave had still run him down those 4 car lengths. Dave's car was a little faster tonight, but it doesn't always matter who's faster. From letting go of the button to the finish line, there's a lot of things that can happen. And even if he did guess on the light, he guessed perfect, and that counts. So props to him, proud of him. I do hope that he stays right in there. I don't think he will. There's too many problems that pop up with nitrous at that caliber. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with Doc in season 12. Next one to talk about is Lutz and Murder Nova. Murder Nova was on a pass. He has finally started getting that car to working. At the end of season 11, he jumped up several spots right there toward the end, but the season went off before he could make it any higher than 5, maybe 6. I think it was 6. And he made a pass. He outrun Lutz, moved up a spot, and done it twice. So I hope that the Murder Nova is back. I hope that Sean has figured the car out, and I do hope to see that car in the top 2 or 3 and stay there. The only other race that would have been worth talking about would have been Dominator and Shane. Dominator broke. Shane made one hell of a pass. It was straight down Broadway, made a pass, and it would have been a good race. Just like all the other races that went on tonight, I do feel like it would have been a good one. But that is really all that happened during race night. And one or two things that I want to bring up and talk about what it's still got to happen this season that I want your opinion on. And that is Monza and Kamikaze. You know Monza's going to bring that car back. It's a new car. Obviously, I do think Boosted outruns Dominator for next week. So when do you think that Monza will try to bring his car back? Because that will put Dominator in the 10 spot if he does get outrun. If he was to bring it back, do you think Dominator can move up like he did last season, or do you think that he's going to be, kicked off the list again? Monza's car is consistently fast. Monza is a consistently good driver. So I do feel like that Boosted or Shane maybe or Dominator's going to have to go for it to work. I do not think Boosted will stay on the 405 list again. That car just isn't it. If he gets big tires on it and figures it out, maybe. But with what's going on now, that's just not it. It's not going to cut it, not going to work, and I don't see it happening at all. But Kamikaze, we know that he's had problems with that car, but he's there every race night without his car, and it's only a matter of time before he is back with El Camino making passes and getting faster and faster. I don't see how the car's not back yet. I know that he had talked about as much money as he had spent on it, had to slow down a while back on his social media, so I don't know if that's what it is or what, but I do look forward to seeing him back kicking ass, pissing people off, and the El Camino making A to B passes. That is really all that happened this week. I'm going to cut this one right here. I know this video has been a little bit lengthy, so I'm cutting it off right here, but this season, I know it's just 3 hours or 2 episodes into it, but it is a lot better episodes. It is a better season, and I hate to say I called it, but I did. I do hope that it continues to be this way. The guys just seem happier. Everything was just better about the show than what had happened. And I do feel like they forgot where they come from, and they know that they forgot where they come from and what made them who they are today. And that is this show, the fans, and the money that come with it. So they was on the verge of losing it. They had to be, because so many people was, bitching, hating, and these people are still out there. They still have to convince them. 2 episodes is not going to do it. I feel like that they are trying. They do put more passion into it again. They're not just going through the routine and just trying to get out of there. But, only time will tell. I'm going to cut this video right here before I go into a rant about it. And I'm going to put my email address across the screen. Anything you want me to know, say, do, have, hit me up there. I'm going to let the P.O. Box ride a couple more weeks. See if I get anything. See if I can give some money away. And also, 50,000 subscribers, I'm giving away $500. If you aren't subscribed, subscribe, like, share these videos. Get it out there a little more where I can get up there to 50,000. Thanks for watching. Godspeed, and I will see you in the next one.